Hello everyone. So in this lesson we're gonna look at three other frequently used tags, which are div, span, and p for paragraph. So let's get started. Let's create a new document and let's call this div, span, and p, and change the extension to be HTML. Now once we have it, if we open that with Visual Studio or other text editor, and if we paste some texts here, as you can see in this text, there are some paragraph between this text, right? But if we open that in browser, you'll see that all those texts are appearing together, because in HTML you need to tell the HTML with tags to how to render it differently. So one thing we can do is we can say that this is a paragraph and the paragraph ends here, and then another paragraph starts here, and then that paragraph ends here, and finally here is the third paragraph and that ends here. Now if you refresh the page, you will see that three different paragraph is created. So that's a common use for using the paragraph or the p tag. Now what if you want to separate one of this section within a paragraph but without creating a paragraph for it? For example, this make things pretty, this part of it, we want to give slightly different treatment for this. So but we don't want it to be a separate paragraph. So those are the situation where we use the tag span, and it will not actually create a new paragraph, and that's why it is called inline tags. So here is our span, and you will see that just because of the span, visually it will not make any difference in this page. If we want to make some visual differences, we can add some style there. So don't worry about like what I am writing in this style section. This is just to show that this span is separated. So I can call this color red. So this is our span, and now if we refresh this, you'll see that that part is red, but it is still within the same line. In terms of the spacing, it did not create a separate paragraph for this. That's why a span is called inline block. Now one thing you notice is that if you look from semantic point of view, these three things, what is this perfect paragraph? This is the title for this next section. So there is a grouping between these two, whereas this first paragraph is talking about something different. So when there is this grouping, then we separate that using a div. That's why div means division. So we can group this using div and finish the div here. So that will be our div. Visually it will look similar as paragraph, there is no difference, but what this grouping did is that this thing is grouped together. Now if we do something for this div, or if we move it somewhere else, they will all move together accordingly. So for example, if we want to position this div differently, as I said, don't worry about the style at this moment. This is just to show that this is grouped together. I'm adding some padding. And you will see that it created some padding here, but the whole thing, it moved together because they are grouped together using that div. So that's it for div, span and paragraph, some of the commonly used